Welcome to Talking Business. I'm your host, Darcey Edwards with Queen Bee Leadership Training. Talking Business is just that. We are talking business with business leaders, leaders in the community, and those who change their communities with entrepreneurship. This podcast is presented by Xpose Hope as a thank you to the business community. Catch us on all the platforms. Find us, follow us, and review us.
Hi, I'm Betty Campbell with Xpose Hope and Business Against Trafficking, and today we have a very special Talking Business for you. We're an AR workshop. We chose to do it here because AR Workshop has been a great supporter of Xpose Hope. They've just been amazing in allowing our ladies to come in and work and get some of that free play time where they can create and use their minds, and we appreciate them. So we hope that you'll visit their business. But today is a very special episode, very dear to our hearts, because Talking Business is going to be closing down. It is bittersweet because we have seen so many great things, but unfortunately, with the house and everything that's happening with Xpose Hope, it is just too busy for us to be able to continue. So we wanted to take this time to talk to each member of our team because they are all amazing. I want you to know what they've done for us, what they do for a living, and I'd love for you to support them because they are incredible. But I want to also hear what their favorite parts of working with us has been. So, Darcey Edwards is with Edwards Realty Trust, but she also does Queen Bee Leadership. And she is absolutely amazing at that. Darcey, tell us a little bit about your leadership.
Leaders sometimes are not born that way. And sometimes people don't understand that they are in a leadership role, even if they're just like they're an employee or they're a business owner. They don't see themselves as leaders. And my goal is to teach them how to take that business and be the leader that has probably always been inside and have it be burst out in the world.
What I love about it is it's not a buy it and everybody gets the same cookie cutter approach. You really look at that individual. What do they need?
Right.
It's amazing. So if you have never been coached, you've never had that inner leader brought out of you, that's how you grow your business, is get that leadership brought out and blooming. So tell me, what was your favorite part of being part of this podcast?
I really enjoyed just meeting business owners and talking to them and finding out what their secret sauce was, right? And figuring out how to tell them or help them tell their story. Because a lot of times when you are interviewing people, they don't want to talk about themselves. I am the exception to that rule. However,
and you'll learn that at Queen Bee Leadership.
Yeah. But the other side of that is I get to see them come up with their ideas, come up with their goals, sometimes on the spot, because I ask that, like, what's your goal? And sometimes they're like, So I feel like there's a teaching moment in there, but I got to see what these companies are doing in the time of crisis, because this is actually a crisis when we're in the middle of that, trying to be able to figure out a way to have businesses be highlighted so people would support them. It also brought crucial information. We had the mayor on, and that was fabulous, just knowing the behind the scenes of what that man had to go through during this time and his heart for the people. Having Deanna on to explain chambers and how they work and, what is the behind the scenes of that. So having someone on to explain that, because a lot of times people don't really know how things work. And so learning what business owners were doing to have it work in this really weird time was phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, the mayor was definitely an amazing interview, and he should probably get a hero award for all he did for Hillsboro. And I had no idea until that interview either. So, well, we have appreciated you so much. You are by far one of my heroes. And I appreciate every interview you did, every great question you came up with, and the way that you allowed these businesses to just shine.
Yeah.
And we appreciate it so much. Thank you, Darcey.
They deserve it. Thank you.
And then, of course, we have our photographer, videographer, Lee Gochenour. So, Lee, tell us a little bit about your business.
Gochenour Photography. I'm a commercial and headshot photographer, so I specialize in making your business look better, right? Through photos and video and things like this podcast. I collaborate a lot with Dodge Media Productions to do this type of stuff. And it's just the goal of Gochenour Photography is to help your perceived value, your business look better online, because we know you're fantastic, but maybe you don't have the ability to show other people how fantastic you are in the digital world. Gochenour Photography helps with that.
I would love to see you getting a headshot done because, yeah, you make us feel so comfortable.
I did once, and it's not a great experience. And it helped me relate to people in front of my camera in a completely different way. One thing you'll almost never, unless it's in a joking way, hear me say these days is just pretend the camera's not here. Because that is the dumbest thing when you're standing in front of that camera to try to do, right? So
it's very difficult because it's glaring.
Yes,
so
it's a little obvious.
Well, one thing that people may not know about you is you specialize in headshots, but you do a lot of other commercial photography too. So you can do restaurant shots or shop shots, and you can actually create a beautiful vision board for people to work with their advertising.
Right.
And he actually shot the cover of my book, and what Lee went through to shoot that cover is beyond. So we really appreciate him. So if you're thinking of writing a book and you want a great cover, something not just made up out of clip art, you want something that reflects you, you need Lee Gochenour.
Right.
So,
and I think that's really the focus these days with the access we all have online. Clip art and video clips. You can do some fantastic non-personalized marketing just with resources online. But if you want it to be personal and show people who you are, you need to hire a professional.
Exactly. That's very important. So what was your favorite part of being part of this podcast?
For me personally, I just enjoyed meeting, like a lot of us have said, meeting all the different people that I would never have had the opportunity to get in front of and listen to and hear their story. And then on the other side, the more selfish part of it is the growth and education I got. If you watch and go back and do it, people, episode 1 of this to now, where we've built and learned as a team is invaluable, right? I mean, that's the thing I've gotten most out of this.
I have certainly learned a lot about the way that these things are put together, and it makes me feel good to be able to say, don't worry, I've got Lee and Christi, they're gonna make you look great. You just have to show up.
Right.
So, but I didn't have that knowledge or that bravery to say that in the beginning.
Right.
And so, but working with you has really helped me to be able to help those who are on the podcast. So thank you so much.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, it's been some ups and downs, and like I said, we've all learned a lot, but overall, this has been probably one of the best experiences I've had in my business life, right? Since I started Gochenour Photography and networking, getting to know people, what a better way to do it than to help them be seen by other people. And that's what we've done here because of you.
Exactly. And what's great about them is the podcast will stay up. They'll be there forever. Yep. And so you can send your podcast out, whether you want it pod or whether you liked the video.
Right.
And you can use that as advertising. So if you are thinking about whether you should be ever in a podcast or a vodcast, yes, you should, because it's permanent advertising for your business.
Unless that particular podcast goes completely against who you are and what you do, you should always say yes. I mean, especially if it's a free opportunity to talk about what you do to an unknown number of audience. You take advantage of that opportunity. Shyness out the window, right? I hate being on a camera. That's why I'm behind the camera, right? But you have to say yes to that stuff. And this has given, about 50 people that opportunity?
Yes. It's amazing and wonderful.
So,
every one of them a different story, and every one of them I learned something from.
Yep.
We're putting the podcast together and we're learning.
Yep.
How many times have you been driving down the road? And Oh my gosh, that's great. Oh, I got to write that down.
Exactly.
As we listen.
Yes. So no, I know you're recording this to thank us, but I want to make sure I thank you, because it has been a growth. It's been a fantastic experience.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And now we have Christi Dodge with Dodge Media Productions. And when you started, I knew you, but you have bloomed so much in the year we've been doing this. How many awards has Dodge Media Production received this year?
So I think right about the time that we started, our film was the film that we made in 2020 was going through a lot of film festivals. And I didn't count them all, but luckily our production team won, our writing team won, our I won a producer's award, our actors won, and the film won a handful of best short awards. So that was very, very cool.
Wow. So when we're working with you, we're working with one of the best.
An award-winning.
Yes, award-winning production people. And so tell us a little bit, so you can explain, because I wasn't really sure until I got involved in all of this. What do you do?
Yes. So Dodge Media Productions offers audio and video production support for small businesses and nonprofits, and we help elevate the message. Our motto is amplify quiet voices. So I have a heart for the small business. It's important to hire all those support people, your bookkeepers, your coaches, but all that gets really expensive. And when you're first starting out, it's difficult to figure out where to put your efforts. You need a website, you need graphics, you need all these things, and it's tough. So I really try to meet my small businesses where they are. And if they have a small budget, let's figure out how we can get you some video content. Or I collaborate with Lee a lot, and we bring a photographer in and kind of best structure and suit your needs for your marketing.
That's amazing. And so the reason that you don't hear us say a million times and things that we really didn't want to have in the series were cut out is because Christi takes a look at every piece of video and she cleans it all up for us and makes us look so professional.
Yes.
So what has been your favorite part of being part of the podcast?
I have two things. Very similar to what Lee said. One is there were little glitches that we would have. We would have fan noises, or people would have loud jewelry, or a phone would go off. And learning how to compensate for those, learning different effects that my software has to better the video. One thing that's been really fun recently is Lee moved into a new studio, and so we had this beautiful gray background, but it did seem kind of plain. And so being able to take the business's logo and kind of superimpose that in a way that looked professional, I just felt like it really tied the whole image together. And I was really proud of being able to provide not only good quality sound, but also a nice visual for people to watch while they watch the interview. And then the second thing is very similar to what Lee said. Because I'm editing this, I get to listen. And I'm an audiophile. I hoard podcasts and often have more than I can listen to. And quite honestly, I probably tend to lean more towards comedy podcasts. And the ones that I put in my playlist that are self-help or business development kind of fall down near the bottom because they're just not sometimes as entertaining. So it was just so great to be able to hear all these business leaders, learn from them, get their expertise, and it was just a great way to get that information.
So Christi, if you had to pick one episode, what would it be?
Just one? Well, I'm going to cheat. I love doing Latasha's recently. That was great. I know her story. We did a video for her. So getting to see her shine was fabulous. While Lee and Darcey were talking, though, I thought it was really great for our community to get to hear EJ Payne with the Hillsboro downtown right after the fires, because I loved how our community came together to support the businesses during the fires, helping them clean up, helping them restore, helping them move into new buildings and support them. And to have her so close after that happened to talk about all of that and to talk how can we further help, I thought that was really impactful too. And I was really proud of us for you have that connection with EJ and being able to bring her in so that we could broaden that message and hopefully, direct more funds or even more service hours towards those that needed it.
Yeah, that was such an important podcast. That was the best part. We got to be an important part of so many things. We were there when one of the mayoral candidates announced she's going to run. We were there when one of the state legislature candidates announced he was going to run before really anybody else knew. We were there in the fires. We've always been on that cutting edge of what is happening. And I really appreciate everything you do to make us look like we are so professional and that they want to come tell their stories to us because we are professional. And something else I want to ask you is, you are a really big supporter of the ladies who we work with. Those of you who may not know, she actually donates, she and her mom, everything. Like if it's a paper supply or it's something that runs out, it probably comes from Dodge Media Productions. And our ladies love that. What about nonprofits makes your heart click?
I had great examples. My mom and her brother, my uncle, he was my favorite uncle, he volunteered for the Kiwanis Club and pretty much anyone in need. I saw him, I had a friend in childhood whose home had a house fire, and he leaped into action. He contacted Kmart and said, what can you give us? And he got bath towels and shampoo and conditioner and anything that the family needed for just basic needs. I've watched that over the years. My mom has countlessly donated her time, effort, and energy to different causes. So I think it was led by example, and I saw the benefits that they got. We were never of means. So watching my mom give when she really didn't have a whole extra lot, she gave of her heart, and she's a very peaceful and happy person. So it's not just monetary. And so I saw that example, and I just love, all this isn't selfish. Isn't selfless, because we get something back too. Knowing you helped somebody makes you feel good. And I think that's okay. It doesn't negate what you're giving. And with the paper goods, I just think it's easy. I subscribe to a bunch of different household items, and I just thought, I can just add one or two more. It's a minimal financial obligation for me, and it helps you out. One less thing you have to buy for the house. So It just seemed easy, that specific one. But yeah, I just like to help people.
Well, we appreciate you so much and everything that you've poured into this. We hope to work with you again on some other
Yes, I do too. I've loved working with all three of you.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So as you can see, we have an amazing team here at Talking Business. It's a team that is working together to elevate the businesses of the area. There are so many businesses that we were able to talk to, and nonprofits as well, who they were very small when we met them, and they have blossomed and grown. But let me take a few minutes of your time to tell you why we did this. See, Xpose Hope likes to give back. We know that nonprofits as people who are always needy, but we knew that there was something that we could give back. That's why we sponsor the All About Hillsboro, All About Forest Grove, All About Beaverton, etc. pages. That's why we do All About Business Networking at AR Workshop on Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. It's so that we can help elevate businesses with the one thing that doesn't really cost us that much, and that is a little bit of time and a lot of love. So we are an organization that assists those in the sex industry. Sex industry is larger in Oregon than any other state in the union. Per capita, there are more sexually related clubs here than anywhere, including Las Vegas. We are also We always go between number 1 and 3 for number of trafficked persons. I'm talking trafficked women. You know about that. But also trafficked men and trafficked children. And we, as businesses, need to do something about that. Absolutely, we can't put our heads in the sand and say it's not our business, because when they aren't making money on the street, they're making money by stealing, they're making money by selling drugs, and none of these things help our community. You can help be a part of that by helping us, by coming on as an advisory board member. We love our advisory board. By the way, all 3 of these people are on our advisory board. You could also come on and join Business Against Trafficking. Our bronze level is only $450 a month. You can help put beds under women who are trying to flee their traffickers. That is worth everything that you give. We're also going to train you. We're going to give you a sticker for your door. We're going to elevate you by putting you on our website, Business Against Trafficking, and you can go there for more information on trafficking and what's happening in your community. So we hope that by elevating other businesses, we have been able to elevate the cause that we fight so strongly for. Right now, we have women in our house who are working jobs, who are donating to other nonprofits, who are donating time to other nonprofits. These are women who 12 months ago were literally prisoners. So we appreciate everything that you do for us. Please keep us in mind, and thank you to every single business, every person who came on, from the mayor to Will Eberhardt with Perseverance Marketing to Hip Hop Hits at the very end, and Amanda. We have appreciated when Grazing Goddess Charcuterie brought their boxes and talked about it, when Jelana came and brought us goodies and let us hear the story behind her inspiration and how she took what her grandmother gave her and created a community gathering area. So please visit these podcasts and support those businesses. They are your community. And thank you for helping Xpose Hope. We love you.
Thank you for listening to Talking Business, brought to you by Xpose Hope. We can be found on all of your favorite podcast platforms, YouTube, iTunes, all of them. Also, be sure to like us, share us, and leave a comment. Who do you want to hear from? We want to know.